Good morning, my friends out there in the internets. Welcome to today's training. Today we're going to do a blunt cake episode in response or in regards to communication and how we can improve our communication so it actually does what we want it to. We create impact that we intend, and we can connect with people in ways that really work for them and for us. So if you're new to me, welcome to this training. I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents create happiness and well-being after narcissistic abuse. And I help them accomplish that by restoring their safety, sanity, and self, and by helping them come to know, love, and live who they are, and create happy relationships where they feel satisfied and secure and understood and connected with the other person. That is what I do. And before we get started with today's topic, I need to share this out to the community. The community is your safe haven here on the internet, where you can find tools, guidance, and support that assists you in breaking free of codependency and actually connecting with your innate value back to who you really are and discovering a life of fulfillment, satisfaction, happiness, and at a minimum, well-being and peace in your life. So the link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for also subscribing, for commenting, for promoting my work out there in the world. I really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me make an impact. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to share this out to the community here. Let me know how you're doing in the comments below. And boom. So, how are you? How are things going for you guys? Let me know. So, Blunt Cake episode 8. Helpful communication is about what works for them, not for you. So that's going to be blunt. It's going to be a little punchy there, I think. It's just communication matters, and it's where we create a lot of drama for ourselves, where we create a lot of confusion and unnecessary pain. Now, one thing I really wrestled with in my own exit from codependency and my entrance into self-advocacy, into what I call direct, clear, and simple communication, was understanding how to give help when someone was in distress or in pain. My codependent go-to was to pump them up, was to tell them that things will get better, to give them positivity in that way. And people were often really irritated with me. They would respond with either shaming or guilting themselves, or telling me that this isn't helpful, or getting frustrated with why they can't get it right then and what's wrong with them and stuff like that. It didn't make much sense to me at the time. It was real normal to me, but it was not necessarily logical. It didn't land for me. And then when I was in pain and I was sharing like shame or guilt or fear or loss or some despair, and then people started giving me the positive aspect of, hey, this is a new opportunity and stuff like that, I found myself getting flooded with guilt, confusion, shame, even anger, because it didn't solve the problem, but it also didn't help me feel any better. It frustrated me, and I felt like I was just stupid and wrong, and I'll just have to get over this because I shouldn't be feeling the way I do. This is because the communication I was giving and the communication I was receiving was not actually helpful. This is a blunt part of this episode. Telling someone something's gonna get better, or this is a new opportunity, or look at the bright side, or blah blah blah, especially when they're in distress, when they have lost a relationship, they've lost a job, a business, a loved one, illness or disease, or something has impacted their world. It does not actually help to approach them that way. What actually helps is empathy or compassion. It's to hold space with the individual. Now, a lot of times what's happening for us here is we have the intention to help. We want to help. We want to contribute. We feel for them. And sometimes their experience, their situation activates our own fears. And so we respond to them the way we would want to be responded to. And this is the big catch. And this is actually really critical to communication that generates comprehension, leads to intimacy and connection. This right here. You could write this down. I don't know if it's going to come out right, but this is where it's at. If you want to connect with someone and help them feel seen, loved, understood, or valued, you need to connect to them in their situation in the way they need, not in the way you need. That's the key here with effective communication. A lot of times we approach people from what we think we would want in that situation, and that is not the appropriate way to approach it. The appropriate way to approach it is one of two options. Either empathize and compassion with that person. Like, hey, yeah, this really sucks. I can see what's going on. I hold space for you there. I've been through this. I understand what it feels like. I'm here. I'm listening. I see you. What you're going through and what you feel matters to me. That is approach number one. Approach number two is to ask, what would you like? Would you like support, empathy, compassion, or, I've got some other options that have worked for me in this situation too. We have to attune to this person that is expressing the thingy. We have to tune into them and gauge what's there so we can connect with them. What often, though, codependency, what often in just simple communication challenges we have, is that we communicate the way we want to communicate, and the way we would want to be treated in that, rather than understanding what they need. And this is where we get ourselves into pickles. This is where we feel like we can't do it right, we can't get it, we're either too much or not enough, we're constantly screwing up, nobody gets us, things like that. And that's because we're not actually responding to the person that's communicating the situation. We're responding to what we want to hear in that situation. And so there's a lot of confusion that emerges in this experience. Now, if I'm the one communicating the situation, the pain, the thingy going on, then I can say, I want some positive encouragement, or I just want some space held. Me as a communicator, I can outline what I would like there. So it makes it easier for the receiver to reflect that back. That would be a really important, effective part of communication. But as the one receiving the communication, we also want to slow it down and go, what do they need, or what are they saying they need? And what do I sense they might need? Not what would I need in this situation. This gets us connected to them. This gets us attuned to them and gets us out of trying to do it our way. Because in communication, it isn't about doing it our way when we are responding to someone. It is about attuning to where they're at and meeting them in their territory. Because if we're going to engage with them, we need to engage with where they're at, not where we want them to be or where we would want to be in that situation. So let me check out some comments here. Hi, Jasmine. Thank you. Thank you. Kaya says, I like the question option to ask if a person like compassion or alternative outlook. Yeah. Yeah, so you're going to find what really works for you and what you want to resonate with. And sometimes, depending on how well you know the person, you'll have an instinct as to what works for them. And if you don't know, if you really don't know, just ask. Most people are just quite happy to say, oh, I just want some support, or hey, give me all the alternative points of view or whatnot that you've got coming. So yeah, it's critical though that we have to get outside of ourselves. We can't make it personal. We can't make it about us. It needs to be about the person we're responding to. So if someone's expressing something, we need to respond to them, not to what we want to communicate or say. Because there is this really toxic trend in communication right now. It's like, oh, I have my truth and I want to share my truth. And so someone's expressing some pain and this other person wants to share their truth. That's not communication. That would fit in the line of preaching, and that's not appropriate. It's not helpful. It's not useful. Healthy, real communication that results in comprehension, connection, intimacy is based on understanding the other person and receiving them where they're at. It is really, yeah, Jasmine, you're on target. It's really difficult to override our desire to fix. Now, the desire to fix comes from an externalized sense of value, and it also comes from a low tolerance to other people's discomfort and pain. So we fixers tend to find their value and their worth by fixing someone else or their problem, but they also do not have a high tolerance nor a solid relationship to their own discomfort, to their own struggles. And so they want to regulate their feelings through other people. And we have to be really mindful of coming back to it and going, is this my problem to fix? Because a form of respect, a form of fundamental respect of ourselves and the other, is to realize that their problem is for them to fix. It's never ours. But we can always offer support. We can offer guidance if they want it. Things of that nature. Yes, it is a great chance to slow down and go, in fact, when I was working out my fixer, I started leaning into the assumption that they know how to fix their problem better than I do. I would say it to myself all the time. They know better. They know their situation better. They know their problem better than I do. Their solution, they know better than I do. Now, if they would like my insight, then I can offer that, or I can ask to share it. But they know best. They know best. Even if they say they don't. And in here, they do. And there's a really important reason why we approach it this way, and that is impact. They live with the consequence of their choice and action. And so we giving them that respect and that fundamental, like, hey, you know best, respects the fact that they're going to live with that impact, not me. So if I'm telling someone, do this, blah, 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 I know best, I don't live with the consequence. They do. And that's really important to slow down and go, well, I don't live with this consequence, so maybe I need to let them, maybe I can give back to them that responsibility, retrieve my assumption that they don't know better, because sometimes we do have that, like, I know best, they don't. Thinking not all codependents do. Not all of us do, but some do. I know, because I used to be one of them. And it's like, no, I can step this back and respect that they will discover the right solution for them. And I can hold space with them. I can support them. I can celebrate. I can offer encouragement if that's what they're open for. But I can be there. That's healthy helping. We don't have to solve anybody's problems. They will solve them. We need to look at our challenges, our problems, and work those out. But yeah. So let's check this out here. See if there's any other comments. So yeah, when we want to work out our urge to fix, we actually turn back to ourselves and move towards self-respect and respect to the other individual. But yeah, this communication. We speak to what they need and how they need it. And if we don't have anything to share, don't share. Silence is better than interference there. So it's one of the bigger and more challenging yet liberating aspects of healthy communication is I can connect with a person in their space. Because if that's alive in me, I can do that. But it's not up to me to go into their space and share my truth. That's not appropriate. It's to meet them where they're at, to connect with their experience, hold space with them, ask them for what they would like or need in the situation, and go from there. Because that's real. That helps your intention to help and to connect actually fulfill itself. Because there's one thing we have to be mindful about in communication is I may have an intention, but my intention and the impact I create with my choices and actions, if these do not line up, there is a problem. And often it's because of how I did the thing. And so I need to be mindful that the impact matters more than the intention. So if I'm attempting to be helpful and the other person's saying, this doesn't help me, they're not responding in a way that that indicates to you that this is assisting them in a really healthy, strong way, then that's telling you the impact isn't happening. And so you have to go back and look at how you did it, because what you want, a positive impact or to help, is good. It's the how that gets us in trouble there. So we have to adjust that how to meet that person where they're at, so the impact and the intention have integrity, so that they're aligned. That's the key here. That's what we do in communication. And that's not just with empathic communication. That's just that can be with any form of communication, including what I'm doing now. My intention is to be clear and kind and compassionate, but it's also blunt. I've given you the context because it's a blunt cake. So now you've consented to, okay, it's going to be a little blunt. And now, based on the, at least on the comment feedback, this seems to be landing the way I intended, which is good. That's what matters here. Now, if you want to deepen your communication in a way that stabilizes attachment, creates secure attachment, that creates intimacy, that creates comprehension, I invite you to enroll in my opportunity that I have open right now, because I'm calling it The Opportunity. It's this promotion I'm running where you get 2 of my new courses that are coming out in August and September for the price of less than one of those courses, because both courses individually be $1,250 each. Right now you can enroll for $750. You get both of them. You get lifetime access to them. You get lifetime access to the recorded version and to the live versions. The 2 courses that are included in this are the Know Yourself Strategy, where I help you come to know, love, and live who you are. And then what's called Relationship Essentials, where I help you create secure attachment, communication that leads to comprehension, and conflict that leads to intimacy. The Know Yourself Strategy live classes start August 17th. The Relationship Essentials classes start September 12th. There are 12 classes in Relationship Essentials and 16 classes in the Know Yourself Strategy. So the link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. Right now we have 28 seats open in that. There's a limit of 40, so if you want to get on that fast, this promotion ends on the 24th of May. So there we go with that. So my friends, when we are looking at communication, we are looking at connection, we're looking at creating an impact that really lands for us and for the other person. We've got to slow it down and bring into context this other person and ask them what they need or what they want in this moment, or automatically default to a compassionate, empathetic response, especially if they're in distress. If they're celebrating something, celebrate it with them. But yeah, this is how we arrive. This is how we care for each other. This is how we create connection and intimacy and comprehension out of communication. And this ultimately gets us out of a lot of unnecessary conflict and confusion and hurt, because a lot of that happens through communication. So the more we improve our communication by simplifying it, bringing it into a direct, clear, and simple focus, the better. The more connection we have, the more well-being we have, the more regulation we have in our and connection and attachment we have in our relationships. So there you go. Thank you guys for showing up. I appreciate you. Remember that you're worthy. You're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. That you are truly lovable and knowable, and you deserve that in your world. So there you go. Have a great day, guys, and I will see you in our next training video. Bye-bye.